All right, for anyone watching this later, I am trying a stream because I'm later going to do one for Power Vacuum, doing some cards. So I always do a itchy feet every week. And I thought, well, I'll try out a stream, see if anyone shows up. We'll see. Maybe I should have some music playing or something. I don't know. Never done this before. Might be some interruptions. It's a Saturday morning. Who knows what kind of wacky things are going on in the house upstairs. Let's see if this even posted to the Itchy Feet Facebook. Yes, it did. Nice. Well, I guess there's no comments because I'm doing this on a Saturday morning in Europe. I live in Germany, which means that most people are probably asleep in the US. But I also don't know if this software will show comments. If you're listening to this, say hello so I can test if the comments work. I'll probably do this for about half an hour. Probably won't do the whole thing. Maybe like 20 minutes. We'll see. Oh, there are 6 people watching. So this is the first time I'm using this software. It's the first time I'm doing a Itchy Feet art stream at all. So if you're watching this, put a comment in. These people are watching on Twitter/X. So probably, I don't know if those comments will even show up. I don't even know if you can comment on a stream in X. So many mysteries in today's internet. Anyway, hello, good morning. You're probably in Europe or you're staying up super late on a Friday night in the States. Or it's the middle day for you in Australia or Asia. Either way, happy Saturday. I'm inking this comic. Usually I do a sketch first. I mean, by usually I mean always. I do a sketch first, which is that gray section in pencil. And then I ink over it. And then I do the color and the shading. But the only reason, I mean, it's digital. I use an iPad. But the only reason I do the sketch in ink is because that's how I used to do it when I was drawing when I was drawing on actual paper with actual pens and ink. It doesn't have to be done that way because it's digital. I could do it any way I want, but old habits die hard, and I still stick to like the sketch. I even use a pencil brush when I'm penciling and an ink brush when I'm inking, which again, you don't have to do. It's digital, it doesn't matter. You can set opacities to any ink you want. There's no reason. But I just do it. One person watching from Facebook. Great. Try to post a comment. I don't know if the comments work in this yet, this software I'm using. We'll see. So if you just say hello or hola or guten Morgen. I'm Germany after all. And I don't know, the comments might not show up, so. But anyway, if this I do an Itchy Feet comic every week, as you know, so I thought, well, maybe if I always ink it and I'm always just listening to podcasts or something. And I thought, like, well, why not do it like once in a while, maybe once a month or a couple times a month. I'll do a live stream of myself doing the Itchy Feet art. That might be fun. We'll see. But you're welcome to, I'm just going to sit here and draw, and you're welcome to watch or not, or leave comments. Again, I don't know if the comments work in this software. Somebody's watching on YouTube. Leave a comment. Does it work? Does the comment work? I don't know. I haven't seen any yet. This is an example. I hope you didn't see that example. Yeah, here it says can't post comments to, so Twitter, nobody can see those, but YouTube and Facebook comments should work. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, leave a comment, help me test this thing out. Should I draw a little crab here? It's supposed to be a beach, sandy beach. Maybe a shell. It's beach-like. I'm embarrassed to say that now when I try to draw things in real life, or like even sometimes when I'm just writing things, because on the iPad, you can double tap with the fingers to undo and triple tap to redo. See that line there? And I do this instinctively now when I like misspell something or when I like draw something in real life that I want to undo or don't like. I double tap the paper and I'm like, face bomb. That's how it goes. I like how that looks. Yeah, that's good enough. Usually takes me an hour or two from start to finish. The hardest part is actually coming up with the idea and the joke. And I don't mean hardest. It's not hard per se, but it's time consuming. It takes the most effort. The drawing itself, like this part, once I get to the inking, this is why I thought I would do this part over streaming every once in a while. The inking part is kind of, I can turn my brain off a little bit. That's why I usually listen to a podcast or like watch TV shows or movies that have a lot of talking in them where I don't have to look at the screen very often. The Crown is really good for that. A lot of talking. I still am slowly making my way through it. I'm finding the third season pretty boring, or not third. What am I saying? Whatever the latest one was, fifth. But there's a very informal stream, by the way, so my son might burst in through the door here. There he is. Hi, Noah. What you up to? Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I'm really up or something. But I actually wanted to ask you if we can see again this power vacuum thing.
Power vacuum. Oh, wow, he's talking about my new Kickstarter, which is live right now. I didn't plant him to do it, I swear. Power Vacuum is a game I've got on Kickstarter right now. If you search Power Vacuum, it's this here, Power Vacuum. It's a new game that I'm doing the art for. This is why I'm doing this stream right now, is I want to test the system to see, so I can draw. I'm going to do some card art later today. And I wanted to test and see if how this system works. My first time using it, so that's why. If you want to check out my new game, check it out on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
Noah speaks 3 languages. We live in Germany. His mom's Italian and his dad is American.
This is my dad.
That's my dad. That's his dad. Und kannst du etwas auf Deutsch sagen? Very common German phrase. Still no comments coming through here. I guess that's just because most people are on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, I see you. Leave a comment. See if that posts here. Maybe you are leaving comments. All manner of comments. I'm just not seeing it. But
Who are you talking?
The internet.
Yeah, one.
All right, 1 second. There he goes. What a good lad. Love you, Noah. I love you. It's good that he came in. We can test how the mute works. Mute button. This brush I'm using is a modified one that I bought or downloaded to give a bit of a texture. As you can see, it's like got a little bit of a tooth, they say. It's called a tooth. And just give it a little bit of a rough edge. I don't want it to look too digitally. I mean, it's still very quite digitally looking, but just give it a bit of a rough edge around. I used to do all my itchy feet back in the day. Man, feet are hard. I mean, it's like itchy feet guy. Feet are just such a weird shape. That's okay though. It's not so bad. It's supposed to be like pointing at you. It's like feet are a weird shape no matter what angle. There's no like angle you can draw a foot at, or at least a itchy feet foot that is easy. They're all hard and they all look different. It's like a foot from the pointing at the front looks different than a foot like off to the side. But they have to look like the same thing at the same time. It's harder than it looks. And here, eye lines are important. Here you're supposed to be looking at the dentist. That's not quite right. Or is this like that's not right? What the heck? What the earth? The eyes are funny. I mean, it's just circles with dots. There's so many ways that an eye can be expressive. I think these circles with these dots is the key to itchy feet's success. Entire success is just the expressiveness of just a couple lines. you know, like, but the important thing, like, it's our eyes, the window to the soul. No, they are, but they are how we relate to each other and to cartoon characters. So it's very, very important that the dots are in exactly the right point, because if they're in the wrong place, then they suddenly don't work. I think this is the best I can. It's not perfect, but you know, this might be the best I can do. Maybe make it a bit bigger. Should I narrate? I don't know if I should narrate. Should I just shut up and draw? I don't know. It's the first time I'm doing a stream like this. Oh, she's supposed to be wearing a glove. That's right. So here. I do believe this is the first time I've ever drawn a dentist. Not seeing any comments. I'm going to look on YouTube and see if any comments there. I know I'm obsessing about these comments, but just want to see, do the comments work? Oh. Okay, no comments yet. Good. It's not just me. All right, back to drawing. I could even do some requests if you want me to just draw something really quick for you. I would do that, probably. I would sketch something while I'm here. But then you have to comment. Trying to test the comments here. Just doing this. Yeah, like I said, if this goes well, I would do this again in the future. It's kind of fun. Get some company while I'm inking. What are you inking about? Sometimes these lines are finicky. It's like a gut feeling. In a way, it's kind of cheating. I mean, yeah, that looks okay. You know, ideally, you would have the discipline to draw it, to measure once, measure twice, cut once type thing, like practice the line. And then, you know, when you're drawing by hand, you can't redo these ink lines. So you really need to be really good at getting it right, because you don't have a second chance at it, or it's very hard to undo a mistake when you're inking. But I'm spoiled here because I can just, nope, don't like it. Oh, actually, I did like that. It's very easy to do. So now this like faucet is squared, but the rest of the shapes are more rounded, like here. Maybe the faucet should also be rounded. This is all part of like what they call a unified aesthetic. All parts of the design should feel like they belong together, should share characteristics. Ugh, I don't like this at all. But they are usually really thin. These like thin and small. That's pretty good. These like dentist chair faucets. Probably only going to do this for a few more minutes just to see how it goes. This has been a good test, but obviously there's no one around at this time of day. Why would you be? Maybe I'll do these in the evening my time, then that's morning US time. Probably more people hanging out then. If you're just arriving, I'm just doing a nice little test of a stream. I might do more of these art streams more often. I do an Itchy Feet every week, after all. Maybe it'll be more fun to do it with other people around. I don't know. But I'm also doing a stream this evening, my time. I'm in Europe. So in like 9 hours. Yeah, 9 hours from now. Of art for my new game, Power Vacuum, which I'm doing all the art for and releasing through my imprint Keen Bean Studio. It's on Kickstarter right now. And I wanted to test the stream. And also I've been thinking about doing this for a while. I've been thinking about doing Itchy Feet streams, just doing this inking for the week's comic while I'm here anyway. I usually listen to podcasts or movies and things. Should you be able to see the bulb poking out of the lamp? Maybe. If you can't, then it maybe doesn't look like a lamp. It's probably better. Now the big question, do I copy this and move it over here? Or do I redraw it? Looks about the same size. I think I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to copy it. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. Ha ha! Just try to stop me. You can't. And sometimes it's funnier, honestly. Sometimes it's a creative choice to copy the art because oftentimes, as in this comic, this particular one, the humor comes from the repetition, from like a lot of humor, visual humor you can get out of just the fact that nothing has changed. Like stasis can be funny. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but or when very little changes, you know, the idea that here, this is all that she's changed is just sit down in the chair. Just her hand sticking out. Otherwise, she's, you know, between these two panels. It's funny. There's something, I think, there's some humor in that. Whereas if it was redrawn completely new, different angle every time, it's almost cinematic. Like it feels like, I think this way feels like it's one shot where she's just sitting there, sit, you know, that type of thing. Whereas if it had changed angle and everything, then it would feel like a different, like we had changed to a different shot, like an edit. So in a way, these two panels being the same, I think that's what it is. It feels like it's part of a continuous scene rather than, or a part of a continuous shot rather than moving angles. Never thought about that before. That is interesting. And crossed arms are also notoriously difficult, at least for me. A lot of weird angles. Never quite get it right. Crossed arms. Let's see if I get it this time. But what I've realized, you could do crossed arms pretty well if you start with a figure 8. That's what I did. So that's what I always do now. I start with a figure 8, and then sometimes I'll like redo the 8, and then I kind of put the arms in there. So nice little tip. Sometimes it works. I don't know. Sometimes I have to look at myself. So one hand is going in, one is sticking out. Can you do it with both? Yeah, that's weird. Looks like you're hugging yourself. Both under looks pouty. which I guess he is pouty in this scene. So let's see if that works better. Both hands. I mean, that'd be easier to do. Both hands were in because he could. Yeah, but so one you don't even see. Let's see. That looks weird. I don't like it. Stick with this, even though, again, just something about cross arms that's tough to do. Room to improve on that. Sometimes I wonder what the itchy feet would look like as an animated show, because you'd have to figure out, like, normally his eyes are these big round balls, but when he closes his eyes or blinks, because animated characters blink, although I don't think I've ever drawn the itchy feet guy blinking, you would have to transition to this, like, where you see how he turns into this, like, his eyes are closed and suddenly the balls, the globes disappear. I don't know how you would animate that. Going like this. Don't know. I don't know much about animation, actually, even though I do a lot of film. Never really gotten animation. I do a lot of comics, a lot of drawing, but never put the two together, really. I don't know why. I love animation. It's a lot of work, though. This is always hard. The foot coming back. Yeah, it's okay. Walking over. Good. See, here his eyes are half closed, but the globes are still there. As soon as he closes them all the way, bloop, they disappear into this. Probably finish inking this panel and then call it a day on the stream. But if you've been joining me, super nice to have you. Glad the stream works. I'll probably do it more often. Why not? I love being able to make these bigger and smaller. It's maybe a bit nauseating for you. I'm just realizing, because you're seeing them get gigantic. But for me, it's really, really useful, because when you're drawing, you don't really want to be drawing with this movement. This is too small. It causes, you don't get a lot of, if I was drawing these lines, I'll show you, just a tiny wrist movement, like a garbage line, What you really want is to have them big so that you can use your whole, you can actually draw from here. If you're drawing and you want a good tip, draw from your shoulder. Don't draw from your wrist. Certainly don't draw from your fingers. Don't draw from your wrist. Don't draw from your elbow. Draw from your shoulder. Then you have the largest range, the largest stability. Like, imagine the rest of your arm is almost locked. In order to do that, you need to have a big space to draw on, which is why I like to zoom way in, and then I can draw these like big arcs, basically, that use my whole shoulder. It's supposed to be like this. Oh, this is actually really useful. I can see myself, so I can see what this is supposed to look like. Well, it's not too far off. Something about that. Doesn't look quite right, does it? Maybe it's the. Is it? What is it? This. No, still not. What the heck? Getting closer though. A lot of the stuff is just trial and error. You know, I'm a self-taught artist. Never took an art class in my life. Never studied it formally. That's okay. That works. So a lot of stuff's either trial and error, or I go online and, you know, if I'm faced with something really challenging, I'll often look up like YouTube videos, how to draw this thing, how to draw stairs, how to draw a foreshadowed finger. This is really hard to draw for me. I haven't been to the dentist in a while, actually. This reminds me. I should go back. This is kind of a creepy. I don't even know what these tools are. I'm not a dentist. I just assume some sort of prying, some sort of hook. There's always a hook. And then like a lot of little bits going around. Gross. Bless you, dentists. If you're a dentist listening to this, good for you. Glad someone does it. And this drawing could be a bit bigger, so sometimes I'll go in and actually update the sketch. Oh, that's the sketch. There's going to be a pretty small panel, so. My son pointed out that why would there be a poster in the dentist's office of himself? Maybe I should change this to a different hiker. Yeah, I think I will. But I'm not going to sketch it. I'm just going to draw over it. Windy hair. Maybe just lines. Sometimes I do like full hair, like with her. Sometimes I do just lines hair. In this case, it probably communicates it easier if it's just lines. Communicates wind blowing. It's kind of a fun challenge. How do you draw something that looks windy on a static, like, two-dimensional space? You can't see wind. How do you draw it? Well, in this case, you can. Look at there. In this case, I wanted to really make sure nobody missed. It was windy. But you can also draw little things flying around, you know. Bits of grass and who knows what else. Just to get a sense like, oh man, there's all kinds of crap flying around. Got a backpack. I've got only a couple of bean character shapes, and this is one of them that's always a bit of a challenge because it's like, how does this person wear? How does this back end sticking out? Does he wear a backpack? Oh man. Okay. Well, I could do one of these, kind of like sitting on his hump. do. Holding onto the strap. Do that. There. Yeah. It's all right. And then it's like in the wind. Maybe I don't need these lines. I've already got these pieces flying around. Maybe they could be smaller. These are kind of big. They look a little bit large. And these could be like, no, because it's a photo, right? He's looking at a poster, so you're not going to see the wind on the poster, are you? It doesn't even make sense. Doesn't make sense. All good. It's a comic. It's not supposed to make sense. If you think about it too hard, your mind breaks. That's what you feed for you. He's like on some kind of mountain. Tufts of grass sticking out. Oh no, they need to be blowing as well, right? It looks awful. What an awful hike. That's the point. That's the joke. All right. Yeah, that'll do. All right, next up, done with the ink. Next up, I'm going to do all the lettering. And that's much less interesting. So I'm going to call it there. Maybe do some more in the future. If you liked it and you're looking at this in the future, you can write something in the comments and say like, hey, this was cool. You should do more. And I will. Meantime, my new game Kickstarter is on Power Vacuum. My new game Power Vacuum is on Kickstarter and will be until the end, until May 2nd. Check it out. See ya.